Little something? Yeah, getting better tomorrow, though. Okay. Anyway, tonight, making babies, January 13th, 2023. How do the barnacles make babies? Somebody sent me this and said, Brother Hovind, you got to investigate it. Now, listen, I'm going to smack you if you show up around here because I was up all night long. I couldn't quit. I can't believe anybody would believe barnacles evolved. I mean, wait till we get there. Okay, let's see. Here we are tonight. Barnacles. You atheists haven't answered any of the questions about these previous ones we've done. Come on now. Come on, help us out. I have one debate scheduled this month. I forgot to put it on here, the 31st, I think, with Standing for Truth. We covered the anglerfish. How did they make babies? Nobody answered that one. Tardigrade, honeybee. How did this evolve, guys? Watermelon, starfish, praying mantis, mud skippers, beavers, the frog, the ant. Now, we have some adult content tonight. You might want to, parents, you be the judge if you want your kids to hear this. Barnacles will blow your mind. Anybody ever studied how barnacles make babies? You're in for a ride. Hang on. We did the octopus. Nobody answered that one. How they did it. Who teaches that young man? Because daddy dies when he's born. Son, you got to reach up her nostril with your third arm on your left side and put the seed behind the brain. Who taught him that? They do it. Anyway, the sponge. Nobody answered that one. The barnacle. Look, the Creator made the barnacles. If you think they happen for no reason, you need to go back to get your money back for your education. The barnacle. I got a wild idea. I need everybody who loves the Lord you pick an animal or plant and you do all the research and put all the slides together and make your own video. And if we like it, we'll post it on our channel. I figured out I'll be 70 in 2 days. I'm not going to live long enough to do all the animals and plants. I figured it out today, this afternoon. I'm not going to make it. So help me out. Pick an animal or plant, do the research and say, how did this evolve? Randall, we could put 1 million videos up on our channel. You produce one, some of you get your young people in there. Say, hey, kid, listen, Daddy, you and me are going to put a video together on how, I don't know, horses or whales or something. Make it, okay. So the dogs, there are 339 breeds of dogs recognized by the French society that cares about that stuff. Okay. God said they'd bring forth after their kind, after their kind, after their kind, after their kind. He said it a whole bunch of times in the Bible, 24 times in the first 7 chapters. They're going to bring forth every sort after their kind, after their kind. I think God's trying to get a message across. They're only going to bring forth after their kind. You know, barnacles make baby barnacles every time, man. 2 of every sort, after their kind of every sort. I think maybe we should consider that's what's going to happen. That's all we've ever seen happen. Now, you evolutionists believe the protozoa slowly turned into a biology teacher. That's not bringing forth after its kind. Somewhere along the line, it changed to a different kind, didn't it? A whole bunch of different kinds. So I think all the dogs had a common ancestor called a dog, and that's not evolution. You might get a big dog or a little dog, but you're going to get a dog. And it could be the dog, the wolf, and the coyote had a common ancestor. I wouldn't argue about that. But they're the same kind, and a 4-year-old can tell you. They're the same kind. Now, Darwin wrote his book and called it Origin of Species. Believe it or not, Darwin did a lot of research on barnacles. Barnacles are amazing. They will grow on just about anything in the water that's hard. They want to have some place where they don't move. Here's a surfboard with barnacles, a basketball. Barnacles are just stunning. Let's see, they're related to crabs and lobsters. No, they're not related to anything but barnacles. See, they won't get their thing published in a peer-reviewed journal if it doesn't give, credit to evolution. They don't want to give credit to God. It has to be related to something. See, here's barnacles growing on a whale. They can live as long as 18 months. Some barnacles live as long as 10 years. Average lifespan is 5 to 10 years for an acorn barnacle. Here's what it looks like underneath. If you can finally get it loose from whatever it's stuck on, the barnacle makes this hard shell and lives inside of it. They go together in clusters like this. They like living together in a colony. Barnacles are both male and female, but they don't fertilize themselves. 2 of them be side by side. They reach over and fertilize their neighbor. Let's see. The rocky shorelines liberally dotted with clusters of barnacles. Barnacles are exclusively marine animals. They only live in saltwater. Approximately 1,000 species have been identified worldwide. Biggest one, 9 inches. Smallest one, like a centimeter, okay? One of the smallest barnacles are parasitic, burrowing into mollusk shells. So they get on the mollusk and they dig a hole in his shell to hang on. Wow. Some are limited to low tide mark, some are limited to high tide mark. There are different varieties of barnacles depending upon the tide, what tidal zone they live in. Only the highest tides can reach. A few species are adapted to living in deep water. Now here's a video about barnacles. I never get this thing to play, Randall, but I'm going to try it again. Come over here, hit play.
Barnacles are crustaceans related to crabs and shrimp.
No, they're not.
After a nice meal, it's ready for some action. The little barnacle lets loose the longest penis of any animal, relative to its body size, of course, stretching up to 8 times the length of the barnacle itself. And this penis has skills. It can taste and smell, and the tip can feel around, probing to see which neighbors have ripe eggs inside. When it finds what it's looking for, the barnacle delivers sperm to fertilize the eggs. Barnacles aren't exactly prudes. Pretty much everyone is fair play, because they're all hermaphrodites, simultaneously male and female. Sometimes it's one-on-one, sometimes more. Barnacles are nurturing parents too. They hold on to their fertilized eggs and protect them until they hatch. These cuties are their baby larvae called nauplii. This is the young barnacle's chance for adventure. They roam the sea searching for food and growing. If they survive long enough, the barnacle larvae mature into cyprids. At this stage, the barnacle doesn't eat. The cyprid's only mission is to find the ideal spot to glom onto before it starves. Having survived the trials of youth, the barnacle settles in. Now it's time to get to know the neighbors. Hey neighbor, you just watched our...
Okay, and it all happened by chance over millions of years. Nobody made it. Let's see, let's come over here. There. How do people believe in evolution? The older I get, the more baffled I am by these guys. How can you possibly believe it happened by chance? Anyway, two main kinds of barnacles, acorn and goose. Acorn barnacles look like an acorn, are recognized by their squat, limpet-like appearance, an extremely tough outer covering, made up of 5 plates, surrounded to protect the soft body cavity. With muscular contractions, the plates can be opened and closed. They live inside, they can open and close plates that protect them. So there we go. Depending on the state of the tide, at full tide, the plates are pushed outward to allow the barnacle to feed. But as the tide withdraws, the barnacle closes its shells once again, leaving a tiny opening for oxygen to enter. Thus, enclosed in their shells, barnacles can resist drying out at low tide. So the barnacle has muscles to open and close these plates. It has a penis 8 times longer than its body. It also has testicles, and it has eggs. It's both male and female. How did that evolve? Let's see. Rocks are not the only substrate attached to barnacles attached to. Some attach to invertebrate grass, intertidal grass. Others fitch onto the shells and crabs of other mollusks. There's a bunch of them on a whale here. But some barnacles become attached to active swimming species like marine turtles, or even the fins of other body parts of whales. Floating timber and flotsam, marine buoys, piers, ships' keels are convenient anchoring points for many barnacles. They latch onto something and that's their home. Some U.S. Navy estimates heavy barnacle growth on ships increases weight and drag as much as 60%, resulting in as much as 40% increase in fuel consumption. It's a royal problem. Barnacles. Most barnacles are hermaphrodites. They can be both sexes, each individual having both male and female reproductive organs. Let's see, barnacles have extremely long male reproductive organs, some of which measure more than 30 times the length of the animal's body, generally about 8. So for a 6-foot person, that would be embarrassing to walk around with. Okay, let's see. Tonight, we will focus on one topic, how barnacles make babies. I want the evolutionist to explain step by step using real science how this evolved, okay? They got the muscles to open and close the shell. They got a penis that's really, really, really long they can put out there. They have the testicles to produce the sperm. Here we go. How did this evolve? They put that little feathery thing out to catch the food, but they have this penis that is enormous in there, testicles and ovaries both, and an oviduct and eggs. Wow. Sperm are deposited in neighboring animals by the reproductive appendage, and the eggs brood about 4 months in a special sac with a mantle cavity, within the cavity. When they hatch, tiny larvae hatch out. We covered that on the video. They go through a series of molts. As they grow, their outer shell won't grow. So they split the shell, grow a new one. They grow inside 4 times, and the outside shell breaks. How did that evolve? How many things can go wrong and make that stop working? How many of you, as you were growing, your skin grew with you instead of had to split it and come out of it all the time? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Life cycle. They start off as an egg. There we go. Barnacles have 2 distinct larval stages. We went through that on the movie, okay? The nauplius and the cyprid. Okay. Let's see. The larvae exhausts the finite energy, becomes less selective to the sites, and it cements itself permanently. It sticks itself on really tight. As many as 13,000 larvae can be released by one single individual. Mama, how'd you like to have 13,000 babies at the same time? Randall, your dog had 7 puppies? That's plenty. Yeah, okay. When it finds a substrate, it will settle a critical time in the life of a barnacle. So it has sticky legs. How did that evolve? It has a special glue on there that you won't believe, okay? 5 free-living barnacles attached to substratum by cement glands that form the base of the first pair of antennae. So out of these antennae, it's got to cement a gland to make this cement. See, for millions of years, none of them had that, and they couldn't stick on anything, and they all died for millions of years. None of them lived. The animal is fixed upside down by means of its forehead. In some barnacles, the cement glands are fixed to a long muscular stalk, but in most they're part of a flat membrane or calcified plate. These glands secrete a type of natural quick cement able to withstand a pulling strength of 5,000 pounds per square inch. Have any of you ever had to scrape barnacles off of a boat? 5,000 pounds per square inch. It's a real problem for the shipping industry. They get on your propellers, they get on anything. They're making babies really fast, like 13,000 at a time. They all got to find a home. They pull the ships out, put them in dry dock, and scrape the barnacles off. It can take a whole crew a long time to do this. Okay, these little larvae are amazing in their own, but that's another story. How do they make them? As the larva settles, its cement glands located at the base of the antenna that says the existing larva carapace becomes covered with interlocking calcareous plates, locked in a single location for the remainder of its life. The barnacle has evolved. See, they won't get it published in peer-reviewed journals if they don't say evolved or adapted. Those are the key words. They got to have that in there. Okay. Barnacles have no true heart. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How did that evolve? A sinus close to the esophagus performs a similar function, with blood being pumped through it by a series of muscles. Oh. The blood vascular system is minimal. Similarly, they have no gills, absorbing oxygen from the water through their limbs. Oxygen comes through the skin of their arms. Interesting. And the inner membrane of their carapace. The main sense of barnacles appears to be touch. With the hairs of the limbs being especially sensitive, the adult has 3 photoreceptors, like an eye. They can only see light and dark, though, it looks like. Photoreceptors record the stimulus for the barnacle's shadow reflex. A sudden decrease in light causes cessation of the fishing rhythm and closes the plates. So when he sees the light change, he closes up. Oh, something swam by, something happening. It's dark out. Photoreceptors are likely only capable of sensing the difference between light and dark. So this eye. So how do barnacles mate? Well, the penis has these little hairs on it that can sense chemicals. He can feel around with his penis and find the neighbor, go inside, find the eggs. It's hard enough to find a mate when you're able to get up and move around. Just imagine the difficulties that the poor barnable faces. permanently glued to an underwater rock or hull. Most sessile animals, organisms that spend their lives anchored to something, simply shoot their sperm and eggs into the water and hope for the best. Barnacles, however, actually copulate with each other. They manage this feat with an amazing penis capable of seeking out partners and mating with them. Partially extended penis, let's see, that's only part way out. It goes out 8 times, sometimes 30 times the length of its body. Okay. Barnacles have evolved some of the longest penises. There they go. They got to glorify evolution or it won't get peer-reviewed and published. Yeah. Relative to body size of any creature. Barnacle penises can stretch up to 8 times the length of their body. That's pretty good size. They're hermaphrodites. They're aided by chemosensory bristles covering the penis. So the hairs on the penis can sense chemicals. How did that evolve? Okay. Given out by barnacles acting as females. They can decide to act as a male or female. They go well in San Francisco. Okay. Once a barnacle sniffs out a receptive partner, it uses its long, stretchy penis to reach out and mate with her. That is coming out of that little barnacle shell. You understand what that picture is showing? Each of those little white shells at the end is the barnacle. All the rest is the penis hanging out. Barnacle penises 8 times as long as their bodies. Let's see. Crashing waves, and those that live where the waves crash harder, they have a shorter, stouter penis. If it's in nice, calm water, it can be real long and thin. Now, not only that, at the end of mating season, it falls off, and they grow a new one next year. How did that evolve? I would like some answers, you evolutionists. Remember, boys and girls, all of this happened by chance over billions of years. No design in any of this. Nobody designed that. Hairs that can sense the chemicals. Interesting. Those little tiny barnacles send out those great big huge penises to find a neighbor to mate with. And you really think it happened by chance? Could you guys atheists start doing some science once in a while? Show us the step-by-step how this evolved. And don't draw a bunch of lines on paper. Show me this physical evidence for how this worked. Turns out barnacle penises are sensitive and adapted to different ocean conditions and population densities. Longer penises can help more potential mates, but are also vulnerable to flopping around wildly in the pounding surf. Get broke off. The water conditions in which the barnacle live can radically affect the size and shape of their penis, helping them fight waves in rough waters. In calm waters, they grow a long, flexible penis to reach as many potential mates as possible. But barnacles living in choppier, wave-battered waters have shorter, thicker penis. Guys, why did any animal want to learn to make more copies of itself? That only increases competition for the food supply. All the animals evolved the ability to make babies, didn't they? In very different ways. Okay? Why would any of them do that? Let's see. Barnacle facts, A to Z. Barnacles typically lay 1,000 eggs, closely related to crabs and lobsters. They're not related to anything but a barnacle. They got to put related or adapted in there. It won't get published. God said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life." Just with speaking those words, God created all the things in the ocean and their incredible desire to bring babies into the world. Almost every species of every plant or animal has this unexplainable drive to make babies. The waters brought forth abundantly after their kind. Boy, they sure did. Every winged fowl after his kind. God saw it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply." So God put that desire into them. It's real simple, not complicated. God saw everything that he had made. Why can't you give God the glory for the barnacle? I don't have a problem with that. As I'm studying in the middle of the night, I just got down and I said, "Lord, you are amazing. You did all this in just a couple of days by speaking. You've been building my house up there for 2,000 years. He said I go to prepare a place for you. That's going to be quite a house." Can you imagine? I can't imagine. I want to go, though. Not tonight, but I'm going to go. Okay. "I will praise thee. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made." See, I don't have a problem praising God for what he did. Some of you atheists ought to get your head out of the sand. Say, look, there's a creator. He made this. It's unexplainable by your religion of evolution. You can't explain it. So give it up and get the truth. God made everything. He made the barnacles. He made the whales. He made you. And you're going to face him one day for everything you've ever said or thought or done. And if you broke any of his laws, you're going to be in trouble, unless you got somebody else to pay for it for you. And Jesus Christ is willing and able. See, God so loved the world that he came down and became a human and let them kill him for your sins. You just have to accept it. It's that simple. See, the dirt doesn't know how to make a tree. The seed knows how to make the tree. But it won't work if the dirt won't let it in. But if you poke a hole and open it up, let the dirt let the seed in, now the seed can make the new tree, not the dirt. I'm the dirt. Jesus is the seed. I received him into my heart. He's growing inside. He wants to come inside of you tonight, right now, January 13th. Why don't you pray and say, Lord, would you please forgive my sin? Would you please come live in my heart and save me? And let him start growing in there. See what he does. Okay. Barnacles moved from calm waters to a wavier environment will adapt their penis shape accordingly. Barnacles regrow their penis each year before the breeding season. No matter what kind of penis the parents had or what type of penis it had the previous mating season, a barnacle in rough water will develop a short, stout penis. How densely packed the barnacles are also affects the penis shape. 8 times longer than its body, it had special hairs to detect the chemicals. It can adjust to ocean conditions by growing longer or shorter. It's able to inject millions of sperm into the female. Obviously, nobody designed it. I need a bigger hammer, brother. I got one. I need a real big one. Some of you just... Any paper submitted for peer review must pay homage to the evolution religion or they won't get published. These cladograms are nothing but lines on paper, pure propaganda. You don't know the barnacle is related to the crab. They both have a shell, okay? So does a Sherman tank. But Darwin spent an enormous amount of time studying barnacles. He was on that ship for 5 years because he couldn't get a job anywhere else, so his dad pulled a few political strings and got him a job as the ship's captain's companion. That was his official job, okay? Mental floss. Charlie Darwin's barnacle room. Yeah, he really studied barnacles. Barnacles latched onto a special place in Darwin's heart. Wait a minute, did I show this? No, okay, it's coming up next, okay. By the time The Origin of Species was published, 1859, the father of natural selection had long since become a self-taught expert on these fascinating arthropods. Wait. Is it okay? You don't have to get a degree from a university. You can teach yourself something. Is that okay, guys? Come on, you evolutionists. Is that okay to learn something without going to an accredited university? Is that okay? Why did he start studying barnacles? As with many interest in Darwin's career, it all began aboard the HMS Beagle. During the early 30s, he served as her designated and naturalist and a fateful, I don't know about that, he was the ship's captain's companion, okay? Maybe he designated himself. 5-year voyage that took him around the world. One day, while exploring the archipelago near Chile, he happened upon a conch shell riddled with holes. Back in his quarters, he placed the prize under a microscope and thus became acquainted with the curious little creature. Seated inside these holes, he saw the barnacles. Through focusing on barnacle studies, Darwin figured an up-and-coming naturalist could really make a name for himself. Trying to make himself famous, okay, which is fine. But that's really why he did all this study, not to praise God, okay? Besides, he felt that their classification was painfully unorganized. So, in 1846, Darwin married, started raising a family, and had taken up residence in the house he called home for 4 decades. He proceeded to spend the next 8 years on what became a barnacle project of epic proportions. What did you conclude, Charlie? Barnacles make baby barnacles, don't they? No. He concluded barnacles came from a dot of nothing exploding over billions of years ago. Let's see. Brilliant barnacles. Evidence for evolutionary relationships. You have to give glory to evolution. Darwin-inspired learning. Why can't you give the glory to God? How barnacles make babies. How does he know? He's blind. He can only see light and dark. How does he know where she is? Where are you? Can't even talk. Honey, where are you? Over here. You know, just got to feel around. That's, boys and girls, is how barnacles make babies. So would any of you evolutionist believers please explain how this complex process evolved over millions of years in small random steps with no designer? I would like an answer. And I would like all of you to start doing some of these to give me a break, okay? Everybody pick an animal or plant and say, how did this evolve? How did this evolve the ability to make babies? Pick any one you want. Everyone tells an amazing story. I think God designed it this way, so the more you study nature, the more you're drawn to Him to give Him the glory. But instead, some of you are determined to figure out a way that it evolved and didn't happen. No creator did it. No creator. Can't have a creator. Okay. All right, any questions or comments here, Randall? You're looking. Any from here?
How many have you done so far?
I can't hear what he said.
How many have you done so far? How many different animals?
I don't know. 8, maybe 7, 8, 9 barnacles. The cement by which barnacles attach themselves to the substratum sets underwater and sticks to plastics with low surface tensions. It's been investigated because of its unusual properties and possible use as a dental cement. I've scraped them off, brother. That's hard. They're on there. And it took millions of years for them to develop that special factory to make that special cement. For millions of years, they all fell off and they all died. Yep. I got the easiest job in the world, making fun of these atheists. I love it. And sweetly in Christian love, okay? All right, Sunday, Colossians. You're going to enjoy this chapter. Okay, that's it, Randall? Come visit Dinosaur Adventureland.